Big massive dumps. Big massive dumps. Big massive dumps. Big massive dumps.
Huge dumps.
In Michigan and Pennsylvania.
Huge dumps.
In Michigan and Pennsylvania.
Huge dumps.
In Michigan and Pennsylvania.
Huge dumps.
Big massive dumps.
Huge dumps were happening all over the country. What is going on here?
Big massive dumps.
Huge dumps were happening all over the country. What is going on here?
Big massive dumps. The FBI and Department of Justice, I don't know, maybe they're involved. And I'm sure you felt that way. And I'm sure you felt that way. The FBI and Department of Justice, I don't know, maybe they're involved. They call them dumps. Big massive dumps.
We are a laughing stock.
Big massive dumps.
We are a laughing stock.
Big massive dumps.
All right, we're just too busy to even do the entire thing, and there's just too much to talk about. So earlier we had a live stream where we heard from the incoming Biden communications team, the future director, White House communications director, and future White House press secretary. It was very uncontroversial. It was refreshingly boring, and we found out that next week, Joe Biden will be receiving the first dose of his coronavirus vaccine. Now, even though, now you might say, wait a second, David, whoa, stop the clock. Trump's done nothing for weeks. Today, his only thing was a closed meeting with the Secretary of Defense. Yesterday was a closed to press signing of a women's suffrage monument. The day before, it was a cabinet meeting closed to the press. The day before, he had nothing scheduled whatsoever. The day before, he had lunch with the vice president and signed an executive order closed to the press. The day before, he played golf. The day before, he went to the place at which he would be playing golf. And did he actually play? Who knows what the hell was going on? The day before, he had nothing scheduled. The day before, he had 2 meetings. Right, okay, so all of this is going on. And then you look at the COVID numbers and you say, wait a second, yesterday 3,400 people died. And then you look at the day before and you see the death numbers and you see we're having more than a 9/11 every day. You might think, oh, we're going to see Trump and he's going to say something important. And as of right now, Vice President Pence, there's rumor that maybe Trump will be here, is going to do a birthday party for space farce. A birthday party for space farce is what we're doing today, even though 3,500 people a day have been dying of COVID, and Trump has done and said nothing about it. I guess people are probably right. He doesn't really seem to care. Now, I do have an announcement to make. I am considering enrolling as a lieutenant in space farce, and my fiefdom will be an asteroid. Yeah. Anyway, I might be too old to enroll, but if I'm young enough to enroll in space farce, I plan to do it. Okay. Aquatic Llamas wants a breakdown of the opening montage. Yeah, that's it. That's actually an idea. I don't even know if I have, where do I have the source? Is it stream intro compilation? Is this it? Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, these are just different, I guess you would call them visual elements. This is me with my juicer at home. I have trouble with my juicer. It oftentimes attacks me. So that's why I'm being very, very careful with it. The next clip is from, the next clip is from when we did some old videos at a men's clothing store. This is like probably 12 years old in Northampton, Massachusetts, when I lived in that part of the country. These are just deep fakes. I don't even know who these musicians originally were and who my face has been swapped out with. This is when I ripped up paper and tossed it, and a piece flew back and hit me in the left ear right there, and then I had to tweak my ear. This was more of the fitting. I believe this is called an ascot. Can somebody correct? That's me in my garden. That's one of my huge peppers, and I try the tip of it. And it's pretty good, as you can see. Every clip here has a story. I don't even know what this is, but some people liked it and sent it to me. This is me with my new Helix, beautiful pause, my Helix mattress. That's a sponsor, and we set up and filmed me testing it out. And as you can imagine, that's the normal way to test the mattress. This is how everybody tests it, right? Just like that. Boom. This is during a caller that I couldn't understand. I was just perplexed by what was going on. That's all that is. This is from a long time ago when I had to pick up former producer Lewis and bring him to vote because he was refusing to vote. And we filmed it. I waited outside, of course. And then he had his I voted sticker. That's another test of my mattress. No big deal. This is me further ahead in the testing process of an ascot. That's me demonstrating the right way to open a banana. A lot of people open it from the wrong end, and you kind of mush up the banana if you open its stem end. You never want to open its stem end. There you go. That's me trying another type of pepper in my garden. That one was a little spicy. This is when we had a Jenga game over several days in the old studio. Anyway, I don't think this is that interesting, but maybe someday I'll do a full breakdown of every aspect of it. Okay, John Person says, I'm fine with any Biden pick for Space Force as long as they aren't Ferengi. I believe that's a Star Trek reference. I'm not a Star Trek guy, so unfortunately I can't comment. Okay, now, I did promise, actually, hold on, wait a second. I have a few different things. I did promise in the earlier stream that I would play, I guess I would try to play parts of 15 consecutive voicemails I got from our new caller, Repeater, R-E, Peter, Repeater. But I'll do that a little bit later. Here is one from who we call the San Antonio Troll, though. Let me play this one for you. This is a voicemail that came in. See what you think about this.
Pac-Man, I'm wondering, why is it that you leftists screaming from the rooftops saying, we need to shut down everything needs to be shut down?
So again, the San Antonio Troll, if he's known for anything, it's calling in and attacking me over positions I've never taken. And again, I have never said shut down everything. So he just calls in and continually attacks me for positions I've not espoused. I think he doesn't watch the show. I think he only calls.
You don't go to work. No one should go to work.
So I've never said that either, of course.
You guys all work from home. You, Destiny, TYT, all you guys, Kyle Quincy, all you guys work from home. So it's easy for you guys to say shut everything down.
I've never said shut everything down.
When you're still making $60,000 a month sitting on your ass reporting the news, reporting shit that's already been reported.
Well, no. So again, I never claimed to be a news reporter either. We do commentary, analysis, and interviews. And we in fact, I am so acutely aware that we are not reporting news that when I do a story, we link to our sources. We analyze and comment and react to news reported by others. So that's what we call a lack of media literacy. We're not doing reporting here.
Easy for you to say, dude. Really easy for you to say. I'm so glad workers, okay, are actually, which you guys are against too. You guys are against worker protests.
When have I said I'm against protests? That's a weird thing. Maybe this guy thinks this is the number to a different show.
They'll say, oh, they just want haircuts. It's not why people are protesting, dude. This is exactly why the left, your form of leftism isn't leftism. It's some kind of like grifting. I don't even know how to explain it. All you guys, y'all are not really left. Y'all don't really care. Y'all just
So it's funny. He's criticizing the left and saying we're not actually on the left. Well, then I'm on your side, I guess, by that logic.
Whatever's popular is what you're good people. This is why workers are rejecting leftism.
So actually, the working class went more. Anyway, I'm trying to talk about electoral politics with someone who's, I mean, it's just it's a waste of time.
So Donald Trump was right about one thing. America will never be a socialist nation.
So I'm not a socialist. I don't know why you're coming to me with that, but obviously a claim that something will never happen in the future, by definition, can't be right or wrong. That's like saying you will never win the lottery. It's about a future event. It's not even an assertion that we can evaluate.
Reason being is because you guys y'all have lost the left. Y'all have lost liberals and leftists by being so anti-worker.
Liberals and leftists lost the left by being anti-worker.
That's all, Pac-Man. I know it upsets you, but that's it.
Okay. Anyway, so that's an example of a caller. Okay, so very, very powerful caller. Ron says the Space Force isn't new. Trump took an existing part of the Air Force and made it a separate branch. It's still the Department of the Air Force. Of course. There's no question about that. Big thank you to the 2 new Twitch subscribers, as we call them, which puts us at 34. And I also want to say thanks to Matthew Jeans, who subscribed at joinpacman.com, Nelson Kading, and Jan Vizik, which puts us at 37. My promise earlier was where we left off last stream, which I think was 31, 32, we would pick it up today, and we will blow the phone lines wide open. If we get to 100 website members and Twitch subs by the end of the stream, we will go directly to the phones after the space farce briefing. So that's something very, very exciting to get to. And then what else did I have here? While I'm ready for politics to be boring again, says Robert Havens, those Hatriots will keep me tuning in, David. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. And I would love to hear from you via Super Chat as well. Okay. I've been notified that there is a petition for me to open an OnlyFans. I don't know who made this. Let's see what's up with it. David Pakman from the David Pakman Show to make an OnlyFans. Let's see. Us totally straight giga chads who happen to be progressives want 2 things. Universal healthcare and David Pakman's OnlyFans. Oh my God. I'm not trying to sell you anything, just facts. Updates. David Package. We want feet pics and Green New Deal. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. David's got more shimmy than a jive bug. Yeah, I don't, listen, 61 people are not going to convince me to open an OnlyFans. And as I've said before, I have a Cameo. Cameo, I believe, is the work safe OnlyFans. And I'm using that. That's what it is. Someone did call in. Jacob is counting on you. Jacob needs your help with David Pakman to make an OnlyFans. Oh my God. All right. We've got to get off of that. That's toxic stuff. Anyway. Okay. So that's that. And I think OnlyFans and Cameo would just be very duplicative. And we're not going to do, not duplicitous. Duplicative is the word I'm looking for. Toxicity, high levels of toxicity. Okay. That's that. And then one other thing I had for you guys, if you want to see somebody living in a complete and absolute fantasy world, this is Donald Trump's press secretary and campaign advisor, Kayleigh McEnany. Now, you might think the Electoral College voted on Monday, it's over. No. Kayleigh has an alternative universe in which you can choose to live. Take a listen to this.
What is the update now that we're at this late date in terms of the challenges in other states and investigations that are ongoing?
Right.
Yeah, there's still ongoing litigation in Arizona. There are a few other appeal options in Nevada and elsewhere. So the president's litigation is ongoing. Make no mistake.
Strongly.
Also in the 4 states that we saw a lot of problems in with those big metro areas, the only metro areas where Joe Biden beat Hillary Clinton, ironically. In those states, there has been an alternate slate of electors voted upon that Congress will decide in January. So we will see what happens. Ongoing litigation.
So when she says, I've actually been getting emails from people about this alternate slate of electors. And so what people think is going on, and yes, I am reading super chats. These are just, I can see why that would be confusing. I am reading super chats. There's just none up to read right now, if you can imagine something sad. So what they want you to believe, and I want to be specific when I say they, what Kayleigh and other people like, Trump, maybe Trump's lawyers, just Trumpists, what they want you to believe is, even though it seems as though in Georgia, Democratic electors voted for Joe Biden. They assert other electors, Republican electors, also voted for Trump, and that it's going to be up to Mike Pence to decide on January 6th. Do we count the Biden electors or do we count the Trump electors? This is completely farcical. OK, and it's farcical for two reasons. Number one, Mike Pence doesn't decide which electors to count on January 6th. Mike Pence just oversees the counting of electors. There's only one set of electors in each state. So when they say Republican electors also voted, and maybe those will be counted or maybe not, they're not actually electors. Like, Republicans presented people that they claimed to be alternate electors, and they did something which they are calling voting. It's as if I get myself and my neighbors together in Massachusetts and say, you know, even though Biden won, we are going to vote for Trump as an alternate set of electors, and Mike Pence can decide which ones. It's of no value or meaning whatsoever. So Kayleigh is just lying, or she's an idiot, or both. I mean, they're not mutually exclusive, but it's not. There's no alternate slate of electors. There's the electors that voted in state houses, and that's it. That's just it. And maybe they are. Maybe they're using this to continue raising money. I don't know. So people will keep donating to Trump to pay off his campaign debt. It's absolutely bizarre. OK. Johnny Minogue says, theory, Kayleigh is one MAGA character played by a set of twins to fill both the White House and campaign role, a la Mary Kay. It's Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. That's an idea. If Trump existed in the Star Wars universe, which character do you think he'd be? Oh, Jabba the Hutt, obviously. I mean, what other... Is there even another possibility? Could there, I mean, other than Jabba, who else could it be? Chris says, in my 5th month as a member, totally worth it. Tim Gwaine says he would be Palpatine for sure. Oh, okay. Can you compare this to Hawaii 1960 with Nixon? I don't know enough about that. I mean, I know that, you know, when Trump said no president has ever lost or won certain states, he seems to have forgotten about 1960 Nixon, but I don't know enough about it to be able to say more. Do you know what rank Pat is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? If not, can you give him the answer? Can you have him give the answer on the bonus show? I believe that Pat is Supreme Allied Commander in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Is that a rank? I could have sworn he said he was Supreme Allied Commander, but I may be misunderstanding. Odds of Republican states seceding, 0. 0.0. Remember, the red states depend on the blue states paying money into the federal government to subsidize them. A red state country, however you slice and dice it, like you could argue, well, Georgia is part of the red states or it's not because they voted Biden. You know, what you can kind of debate the edge cases. The red state country that would come from secession would be completely financially unsustainable. It's an absolute joke. So it's not going to happen. Okay. Thank you to Durges, who says, I reject your reality and substitute my own. Yes, that's exactly what Kayleigh is doing. Appreciate the sub. Barathamidu subscribes and says, David, can you help Sam Cedar get to 1 million subs on YouTube? Seems like a good holiday present. I don't know how I can help, but I believe Sam is close, which is exciting. Also, thanks to Zin Dragon. Hey, David, no memes to share. Hope you have a good day. And thanks to Treblage. That puts us with +4, puts us at 41 website members. I will open the phone lines right after this Space Farce event if we get to 100. Okay, we're at 41. Strong start. If we get to 100. Number 42 is Damian Hendricks, who just signed up at Join. I wonder if that's the Damian Hendricks I know. That's interesting. Damian Hendricks is new member number 42. Please remember, membership specials may be outlawed by the Biden administration. If Biden's going to outlaw toilets that are high flow, if Biden's going to outlaw high flow shower heads, if Biden's going to outlaw windows, if Biden's going to outlaw air conditioning in the summer and indoor heating in the winter, if Biden's going to outlaw, what else was it? Faucets, high flow faucets. and if Biden is going to require only dishwashers that you have to run 3 times, he's certainly doing away with my extreme membership discounts. Okay. So this is the time to take advantage of it. You will be grandfathered in, and you can sign up in mere instants at joinpacman.com with the coupon code Fresh Start. Biden will outlaw summer to end global warming. That's exactly right. And the memberships are, it's actually, I see people talking about hydrosonic. What I learned from Donald Trump is the memberships are both hypersonic, hyposonic, hydrosonic. It's all of the above, which is insane if you know anything about physics. Am I planning to cover the recent cyber incidents related to solar winds and likely attribution to Russian actors? Do you consider it an act of war? Act of war, I don't know. I'm going to talk about that on Monday. I want to have a more informed opinion. And what's your thought on Deb Haaland? I don't really know much about her, to be perfectly frank. That'll be a Monday topic. Read this somewhere. Is it true McConnell is withholding relief because of connection to a nursing home mogul? I mean, I don't know. I've not heard that. Ben says, what's your favorite part of Boston? Probably Winter Hill. Actually, I don't even know if Winter Hill is part of Boston. It may be. Is Winter Hill in Somerville, which I think Somerville is not part of Boston. Now I don't remember. Okay. We are standing by for a Trump administration birthday for U.S. Space Force. Word is I am going to be inducted as an honorary lieutenant of Space Force by Mike Pence momentarily. May the farce be with you, says David Seeley. Yeah. Okay, since we have a little time, let's just do this. We have a caller who last week called me 6 times in a row saying the same thing every call. Okay. Our friend Jethro Bradley did a song about him. We are calling him Repeater, R-E-Peter. And Jethro is just calling him The Repeater. Take a listen. I have no name for this caller. We could workshop a name together. Okay, here we go. So this started almost at the stroke of midnight last night. All right, let's take a listen to the first one. This is a new caller. We've never had this one before. New caller alert.
Is this David Pac-Man? I just want to inform you that is this David Pac-Man?
Okay, so Jethro really quickly put together that song. This guy proceeded to call me 2 nights ago 15 times in a row. 15 times in a row. Can you imagine? Let's just dig in and start listening to it. I probably can't. I can't do all of this. This is about an hour of voicemails, but 15 times in a row. Here we go.
This is to David Pac-Man, the gossip show. I call you the gossip show because you gossip. Trump is right. Ex-President Obama, he destroyed our military. Yes, he did. Trump was right about that. Let me say it again. Ex-President Obama, the worst president we've ever had, he destroyed our military.
So that went on for 2.5 minutes. Seconds later, he calls back again with voicemail number 2.
I'm going to leave another message to you, David Pac-Man, the gossip show, because you do gossip. And I just have to voice my opinion to you because you're an idiot. You're one of the biggest idiots I've ever seen. President ex-Obama did destroy our military. That's a fact. President Obama, the ex-president, was the worst president we've ever had.
So that's the second voicemail that went on 3 minutes. Here is the third voicemail left moments later.
David Pac-Man, the gossip show. You are an idiot.
That was only a 9-second voicemail. Then we go into voicemail number 4.
David Pac-Man, the gossip show. You know, I don't. It's hard to believe anyone watches your show.
It's hard to believe, yeah.
I mean,
that I agree with.
You take
that I agree. Every day I'm like shocked anybody's watching this.
Sound bites from Donald Trump and Laura Trump, and you play a piece of a sound bite of something that they said, and then you gossip about it. I really don't know how people watch you. I mean, you're one of the most ignorant people
Probably on the planet. Now, this one's funny because he actually timed out at 3 minutes. Let's hear how he gets cut off.
Just saying, I don't know what your last name is, David Pokemon or Pac-Man or whatever.
Okay, and so that just cut off because he actually maxed out the recording. Then he went into voicemail number 5.
David Pac-Man, the Gossip Show. I'll say this very clearly.
Please.
Joe Biden did not win the election, and there's over 100 million people that know that. And there isn't anything that you can say that's
100 million.
That. No matter how much you gossip over a sound bite, because that's what you do. You take.
So, and then this one got cut off as well. Let's listen to the cut
You
off.
don't act like a guy. You act like a female. Good grief. David Pac-Man.
Okay, so that one, there's that. Then we went into voicemail number 6. Whoop, hold on a second. That's the wrong player. Voicemail number 6, same caller.
David, the Gossip Show. I'm going to just give you a few things. You're probably not going to understand this because I don't think you have the intelligence to understand.
No, it's good that he's called me 15 times to tell me the same thing. It's more likely I'll understand it that way.
It. Number one, there was a truck driver that was told to take ballots from one state to another state. That is against the law. We have Ruby Freeman on that video that night running the ballots through those machines multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
That is against the law. We have Ruby Freeman going to another part of the building that night, showing us all the ballots that she was going to put into this computer that didn't have addresses on it. That is against the law.
Whoa, I think that's probably going to destroy Biden. So then we're going to voicemail number 7.
David Pac-Man, the Gossip Show. I'll say it one more time. The night of that video when Ruby Freeman was running ballots.
Okay, so now we're taking an overview. And then that went on for 3 minutes. Voicemail number 8.
This is David, the Gossip Show, because you gossip like a little girl. You're putting out false information again because you're a little girl. The reason the Proud Boys are showing up to these Trump rallies is because people from Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they attack Trump supporters.
Okay, then it's voicemail number 9. Understand, this is hours of this guy's time.
David, I'm going to start calling you David Pokemon.
I prefer David Pokemon. I think that's more appropriate.
Show. Anyways, let me say this again because you're an idiot. The reason that the Proud Boys show up to these Trump rallies is because Black Lives Matter and Antifa, which they are a terrorist group,
right? They
start fights, they burn down things.
All right, so that's voicemail number 9. Moving on now to voicemail number 10.
David, the Gossip Show. The Proud Boys.
This could be the same. This could be voicemail 7, 8, or 9, but it's actually number 10.
Have been showing up at these Trump rallies because Black Lives Matter and Antifa show up and they start fights.
Right.
The other day at one of the Trump rallies, it was a peaceful Trump rally.
Okay, that's number 10. Then we go on to number 11. We're getting to the end.
This is for David, the Gossip Show. We have information coming out of Arizona. They're seizing all the Dominion machines from Maricopa County.
Big seizure.
Either Sunday or Monday, we will find out that those machines flip votes, weigh votes, and all kinds of good stuff. So let me say it again, David Pac-Man or whatever your name is.
The energy level is a little bit lower. I see people in the chat. I agree with you. He seems to be slowing down.
You're an idiot.
I mean, we're an hour in now.
In Arizona, the county of Maricopa, they're going to seize all the Dominion machines. They're going to do a forensic audit.
Yep. They'll even bring a forensic dentist to look really closely. Then we go on to voicemail number 12.
I'm going to repeat myself one more time, David.
Oh, that's gold. He's letting me know he's going to repeat himself. We're on voicemail 12.
The Gossip Show. In Arizona, in the county of Maricopa, they are seizing all the Dominion machines. And
all right, so that's number 12. Then we go to voicemail number 13.
David, this is David the Gossip Show. What's really funny about you is you don't ever talk about anything that's factual.
Right. Like Ruby Brebson or something who stole trucks or something, and then Dominion Maricopa.
You pull up sound bites and then you gossip about it.
Kind of like
I
this
said
voicemail.
before, you really belong in a dress and some high heels and some lipstick. You act just like a little girl, bro.
High hills? Like I should live in the hills, he's saying?
You don't ever talk about anything that's factual on your show. You pull up sound bites about who's arguing about.
All right. And then this is winding down. I apologize. We're down. Now this is voicemail 14.
David the Gossip Show. You really don't know how stupid you actually look when you talk about someone tweeting something about someone else. You've got to be kidding me.
Right.
You actually talk about sound bites of people saying something about.
This guy might be flirting with me, I'm starting to think, guys. And then here is voicemail number 15, the last one.
Hey, everyone. It's David the Gossip Show. Gossip, gossip, gossip. You know, I hate to call you some. I hate to call you this much, but
that's weird because he seems to be enjoying it. There's no indication. And who, by the way, who's forcing him to call me 15 times?
Really funny to watch your little thing on YouTube. I mean, you pull up a sound bite or
right.
You pull up a tweet from someone, and you gossip about it. It's really funny.
Oh, it is funny.
I mean, you really don't know how stupid you look, bro.
Okay.
You're an idiot. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Gossip, gossip, gossip.
Man, isn't that insane? Like, you know, I don't even know what to tell you. Just out of curiosity, because these were coming in so fast and furious, I just want to see if he left more while I was playing those. It doesn't look like it. I'm just checking out. Let me see here. Oh, I think while we were doing those, I think Troy York called in. It's never ending. Like you know how at a certain point, so there's this thing about how like every minute, you know, 100,000 minutes of video are uploaded to YouTube. So like, you know, you couldn't possibly watch every YouTube video. I feel like every minute that I play an insane voicemail, 2 minutes worth of insane voicemails are left. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you.
So this is Troy York. Just this is hot off the press.
I listened to your program about Chris Christie, your 7-minute video. I just want to say, you know, it's just more complete mask stupidity on your part. The dumbness of you thinking that masks somehow will slow down the spread and that people are not wearing masks.
It's sort of physics, right?
In fact, everywhere you go, people are wearing masks. You can't not wear a mask going into the store. So I don't know what the fuck, if you expect people having 24 hours or driving alone in the car.
Yeah, you don't need a mask. I mean, this is the guy who asked why I'm not wearing a mask when I'm live streaming. It's like I'm in a room by myself. But do you understand the point of masks?
What exactly is your you and the left, your psycholysis on
What's a psycholopsis?
You know, saying that masks stop viruses is like the equivalent of saying that wearing a hat's going to stop baldness or wearing a hat will prevent dandruff. It's just absolutely asinine.
Ooh, that's very, very dumb analogy. And then one more from the same guy.
So like Fauci and Christie are imbeciles, probably corrupt. He was a corrupt politician.
Fauci?
And why anything that he should say should matter is a joke. And this is all basically the far left progressives.
Oh boy, now more people are calling in as well as
the Democrat Party.
All right, I got to get off of that. All right, we're gone. Anyway, that's what's going on there. Isn't that insane? It's completely bonkers. David L. Pokimane Show is my favorite gossip show of all time, says Captain Crunch. That caller is a damn loon. He needs mental help. He so badly wants to see you in a dress. He has fantasies about you, obviously. Rupert Murdoch got the COVID vaccine today while Fox News hosts continue to spread doubt and fear about vaccine safety. How am I supposed to empathize and be comrades with the millions of people like that crazy caller? Is this country beyond repair? I worry that it is, yeah. I think Repeater has a crush on you, says Owen. Can you explain why little girls are prone to spreading misinformation? Yeah, that is interesting. He calls and says, I'm like a little girl in gossiping and spreading misinformation. I didn't know that the nexus of disinformation was little girls. That's interesting. Love David Pokemon Pac-Man's gossip show. Thoughts on former Israeli space security chief's comments about governments being in contact with aliens? I mean, I find it difficult to believe. That's about all I can say. Thank you to Heavy Metal Mania for the Twitch sub, which puts us at 43. Remember, we opened the phones at 100 after the event. Also, a few people signed up on my website that I want to thank. Jesus Hernandez is new member number 44. Martin Harisco is number 45. Elliot Stock is number 46. Alan Vu is 47. And Joey Fleming is new member number 48. I see copious comments about opening the phones after this event. And we have a goal of 100 website members and Twitch subs. That's the goal. And we are about halfway there, which I think is really, really great. People asking me to comment about the AOC Jimmy Dore controversy. Some of you may know it as the AOC Jimmy Dore controversy. I actually got a call about this on today. So we did calls for the Friday show, and people asked me about it. And I was not on Twitter over the weekend, and I don't watch shows like, Jimmy Dore or other shows. So I didn't really know about it, but my understanding of the correct me if I'm wrong, chat. As I understand the controversy, Jimmy Dore wants AOC and the squad to force a vote about Medicare for all, to force Nancy Pelosi to have a vote about Medicare for all if she wants them to vote for her for speaker. And AOC, I guess, is unsure whether that makes any sense. Am I correctly understanding the controversy? Can somebody explain? Nobody knows. Oh, pretty much. That's the idea. Yeah. So my thought was the following. Right now, I don't know that does anything for people. Like, people need money, high unemployment, economic devastation, 3,500 people dying every day. I get the idea of, hey, let's get every member of the House on the record. You're either for Medicare for all or you're not. But it seems to me sort of like a waste of time in the sense that obviously we're not getting Medicare for all anytime soon. Particularly, I mean, it's just not happening, at least in the next 6 weeks. We may actually be able to do things that help people in the next 6 weeks. So I like the idea of holding Nancy Pelosi to account and trying to get something if she wants the votes of the squad. At the same time, I don't know that she needs the votes of the squad to be Speaker of the House. But it strikes me as a sort of opportunity for virtue signaling, like AOC and the squad saying, we won't vote for Nancy unless we put up Medicare for all to a vote, which is not going to become the law. Okay. It seems sort of like it would be virtue signaling by the squad. And then saying we're gonna ostracize those who don't vote for Medicare for all. Again, given that it's not actually going to pass, it also even seems like the votes would be virtue signaling. So I don't know. It seems ego-based. And we need to fix healthcare. Obviously, we've got to get people money. There's a lot of things we have to do. I just don't know what we gain from doing what Jimmy Dore wants AOC to do. I just don't see it. But that's my understanding of the controversy. And I'm only hearing about it like third hand, really, because I don't watch any of these shows. Alberto Segade is new member number 49 today. And Madeline Wiltshire is new member number 50. Very much appreciate that. Also want to say thanks to the 5 folks who just grabbed Twitch subs. Dallas Jones, E-Sizzle, Morzov, Sacred Light, and Bonobo. And lastly, Dumped Trumpet. Whoa. Just grabbed a membership on my website, which puts us at 56. And I'm not opening the phone lines right now, but after the Space Farce event, we will open them. We are, 56 out of 100. Let me figure out the percentage. 5, 5 divided by 10.5, carry the 0, 56, minus 0, so 10 by 4. We are 56% of the way to 100, which is where we will open the phone lines. Alvaro says, hey, Pacman, on an older stream, you mentioned the Barclays Center in Brooklyn as your old stomping grounds. What was your neighborhood, Fort Greene? No, I lived sort of on the line between Borum Hill, downtown Brooklyn, and Brooklyn Heights. There's a little area there where I think the restaurant is 282 Burger, if I recall correctly. Or was it 808 Burger? Something like, oh my God, I can't. This is crazy. I lived in that neighborhood in Brooklyn. Beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. Who's my favorite drummer? Oh, there's just so many. I mean, everybody from Steve Gadd and Vinnie Colaiuta. Oh, God. This is real propaganda. There's so many great drummers. Carter Beauford and, it's just endless. I can't tell if Space Force is part of the Empire or part of the what are the two sides in Star Wars? It's the Empire and the, how am I blanking on this? Not the Coalition, the oh my God, the Rebels. Oh my God, yeah. I can't tell if Space Farce would be on the side of the Empire or on the side of the Rebels. I really don't know. All right, let's enjoy. I actually think this would be better with one of our songs. I think it makes more sense with makes more sense with this.
Jesus from South America, they're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here from Africa. Pika hata anta ata. I hear the sound of victory.
This makes more sense.
Pika hata anta ata. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of winning.
Oh no.
Winning.
Okay, anyway, let's actually try to take it seriously. As seriously as it deserves to be taken. What does this have to do with Space Farce? There was a car race?
3, 2, 1, 0, 0,
Relay star. Characterized? Oh, this can't be for real. I think I have the SNL feed accidentally.
2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Wasn't that SpaceX? What did that have to do with Trump's Space Force? Halos. Don't a lot of these accomplishments actually have to do more with African immigrant Elon Musk than with Space Farce? Oh my God. Oh, this is too much. People are clapping at the propaganda of it. This is indistinguishable from parody. Is Trump going to be here? I can't even tell. I guess that's the VP's thing. I can't believe this is real. Most of the accomplishments they're taking credit for have to do with either other countries or Elon Musk. Is South Africa an S-hole country? And maybe not because there's more white people. Maybe Trump wouldn't. I mean, it is Africa, which I think Trump puts under that umbrella. But there are more white people. What a weird event. I can't believe it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome General J. Raymond, Acting Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller,
Yeah.
Secretary of the Air Force Barbara Barrett, and the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence.
What is the Stranger Things ripoff music? Imagine a standing ovation. Oh, I guess they stand because he's the vice president. Okay. It's weird. When you look at our COVID numbers, you start to wonder, where are we casting stones about asshole countries?
Since the dawn of the space age, the United States has long understood that access to space and freedom to maneuver in space underwrites our economy, our passion for science and exploration, and our national security.
Yeah.
Recognizing that this vital national interest could no longer be taken for granted, the United States elevated space inside of the Department of Defense to a level commensurate with its importance to our nation. Just a year ago, on 20 December 2019, at a hangar at Andrews Air Force Base, the President signed into law the National Defense Authorization Act, which is the birth certificate.
Which this year he's going to veto. My God, Pence.
And what a first year it has been. The men and women of the Space Force have written an impressive, very impressive first chapter of our history, and I couldn't be more proud of them. So, on behalf of all of the space professionals in the United States Space Force, I want to thank President Trump, Vice President Pence, and Congress for establishing this force. In every sector of space, America is leading, and because of that, our nation is more secure.
Pence leading every applause line. They're laughing at us globally about this, right?
Special thanks to Vice President Pence for hosting today's ceremony. Sir, we can't thank you enough. I also want to thank Secretary Miller, Secretary Barrett, General Milley, General Hyten, for your trust and confidence, and for the privilege, the absolute privilege of serving alongside the men and women of the United States Space Force. Each American armed service traces its origin to a critical moment in our nation's history. Our Army, Navy, and Marine Corps were established in the crucible of America's Revolutionary War. The Air Force became an independent service after the Allied victory in World War II, as America steeled itself for a new Cold War. And with the reemergence of great power competition in all domains, the nation established the United States Space Force. While each service's culture and mission are distinct, what is common between us is the warfighting spirit and commitment to victory embraced by America's treasure, its all-volunteer force. The members of the Space Force are no different. We come to work every day focused on the great responsibility we've been given to custom build this force to compete, deter, and to win. That requires the boldness of Colonels Casey Beard and Christopher Ningle, who led a team that built the first Space Force doctrine, the first independent space power doctrine. It requires the agility and innovation demonstrated.
We have a Space Force, but they're not sure they can give people $600 after 7 months for COVID.
For space, and embedded that software on the ops floor, improving our ability to have space domain awareness. And it's the commitment to victory displayed by Captain Tasia Reed and Lieutenant Christiana Castaneda, whose mission planning ensured the successful detection of Iranian missiles and preserved the lives of U.S. personnel and our partner forces.
Right. People in Flint are still drinking bottled water, and we have a Space Force. Very good point.
Force that we've built. I know they will deliver on the solemn promise we've made to protect and defend this nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic, with a warfighting spirit and our touchstone traits of agility, innovation, and boldness. On the occasion of our first birthday, I thank you all for your visionary leadership and your enduring support. We have made history together, and looking back, I'm confident we will stand in awe of our efforts to ensure the United States Space Force and the United States is always above. Happy first birthday, and Semper Supra.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce our Secretary of the Air Force, Barbara Barrett. You know, this has been a pretty easy job when you have a Secretary of the Air Force that cares so much about what you do and has made the number.
Do you think? Yeah. Do you guys think that those people who have lost their jobs and may not even get any more money from the government Do you think that they are satisfied by seeing that we have Space Force at least? Comforted, maybe?
Thank you, General Raymond. What a pleasure it is to be a part of a team headed by the leadership of General J. Raymond. Call him Hap Raymond, but it's an Air Force thing. You know, for millennia, humanity has turned its gaze to the stars for inspiration. Today, we celebrate the nation's newest service, dedicated to protecting free and open access
I've never
to the
heard that
ultimate
before.
high ground for all benevolent actors. With the leadership of President Trump, the coordination and cooperation with Congress on bipartisan effort, the clear vision of a service was established to protect the American way of life, and it was launched under the name of the United States Space Force. No one has been a better champion of that effort than our Vice President, Mike Pence.
Pence was reportedly spotted taking shots at the Mos Eisley Tavern with no mask before this event.
United States military services were established when George Washington was president. Then, technology opened 2 new domains. Yesterday, we celebrated the first flight by Wilbur and Orville Wright, a flight that laid the cornerstone for the U.S. Air Force. And today, we celebrate the protection of space assets by the new U.S. Space Force. In its first year, you might have expected a Space Force to build a new headquarters leadership team, maybe to publish planning guidance, maybe to transfer 2,500 airmen from the United States Air Force into the Space Force.
This is crazy.
And maybe you might have thought that they would be able to establish a force multiplier program to generate a digitally fluent Space Force. The Space Force, in fact, did all of that. But because of the bold leadership of Jay Raymond and his team, the Space Force also detected incoming missiles in Iraq 5 days after the elimination of Soleimani, and ultimately saved a great number of American lives.
Homeless people will be very well protected by Space Force up in the sky. They'll still be homeless, but they'll be protected by Space Force.
Five Eyes partners, as well as France and Germany. The Space Force anticipated International Space Station collision risk with space debris, and the ISS maneuvered to avoid that risk, ensuring the safety of our astronauts and the space station. And for the first time in nearly a decade, the United States Space Force supported the launch of American astronauts from American soil on an American space capsule. And so why does this matter? Well, it matters because
that's what I'm wondering.
Every American uses space, often without knowing it.
Uses space.
Space controls our water, our power, and our banking. Space powers our information, navigation, and communication systems. Whether you're an Eastern urbanite or a Midwestern farmer or a hiker in the high Sierras, you're probably using space.
Using space.
Therefore,
taking up space, I understand.
All benevolent actors. Today, we salute the vision of a United States Space
Yeah, I admit to using gravity. That I do think I'm using.
Force is defending the ultimate high ground for our nation. Semper Supra.
This is indistinguishable from parody.
And now, let me introduce and invite you to welcome the Secretary, the Acting Secretary of Defense, Chris Miller, who draws on myriad experiences, both...
Now, this is the guy who's in only because... wait, why is this guy? Because Mark Esper resigned, right? It's hard to even keep track of the quittings and the firings and stuff.
Great job.
Don't tell anybody. My only dream when I was growing up was to join the Air Force and become an astronaut. And clearly my parents cursed me with bad genes, and I had to get these things disqualifying me. But today, I had to end up going into the Army and being a ground pounder. But today, you'll notice...
This is really demoralizing.
My Air Force socks.
To me.
Do not tell anyone in the Army. They'll think I'm a heretic. I hope there's not an ethics violation here, but I'm ready for some Space Force socks whenever they come out. We'll make sure they get routed.
Oh my God. Is anybody else cringing?
And what an incredible day. I'm humbled and beyond words to be able to be part of this. Secretary Barrett, Vice Chairman Heighton, General Raymond, family, welcome. What a day. What an historic day. Many other leaders here today.
I'm trying to understand, like, it is the 1-year anniversary of Space Force, and Space Force was made possible by Trump signing NDAA a year ago, but Trump's about to veto NDAA. So, like, what do these things fit together in any way?
Following these great leaders, very special thanks to President Trump, Vice President Pence as well. They spearheaded this effort, truly an historic effort. 6th branch of the United States Armed Forces, 1 year ago today. You know, when I was a kid, I told you, when somebody would go, what do you want to be when you grow up? I grew up in the 70s. What did you say? I want to be an astronaut. My son's 19, he grew up in the 2000s, and when I'd ask him, you know, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd get all sorts of wacky stuff about, I want to be a baseball player or lacrosse player. You know, it broke my heart, you know, because that's where our country had come to with our space in the space domain.
What?
And you know, because of you all, our sons and our daughters now, when they're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Guess what they're going to say again? Astronaut.
What is he talking about?
This administration's bold decision to create the first new service in over 70 years. I love that. HAP. What the heck? What a great description. And you know, to talk about the historic.
I don't know who this guy is, but he is incredibly entertaining.
You know, I know you're just nodding your head. But that's really so telling and so remarkable. And first, you know, service in 70 years. You know, it really marked an important step forward in deterring the threats posed by our strategic competitors, ones that extend beyond traditional warfighting domains. It was necessary to step in this area. It was a necessary step in this area of great.
This is one of the most entertaining events. We really need this comic relief because we've had nothing like this for months.
That put our satellites and space-based systems at risk. And it was a recognition of the importance of securing freedom of operation in what is now a highly contested environment, space. True to the motto of Semper Supra, our men and women in uniform have already taken the Space Force to new heights in an incredibly short time. General Raymond noted publishing the service's first space power doctrine earlier this year and establishing Space Operations Command. To commissioning 86 graduates. 86 graduates came out of the Air Force Academy this year and launching their careers into the Space Force.
Jeff Daniels will play this guy on SNL. What do you guys think?
Launching the service's first satellite
Danson, maybe
as well. And just last week, the first group of directly enlisted space professionals celebrated their graduation from basic military training. One of the absolute joys I've had in this job is signing commissioning recommendations, moving officers from the United States Air Force to the Space Force. You know, again, that was just a humbling event. As our strategic competitors weaponize the space domain through the development of anti-satellite missiles, directed energy weapons, and other counter-space technologies, our personnel will lead the way in preserving freedom of use, commerce, and navigation into.
This guy will be played by Boris Johnson on SNL. How about that?
Much like NASA pioneered a new generation of technologies in the 20th century, our space professionals will be the ones fostering cutting-edge innovation that will protect our advantages across every domain in the decades ahead. And they will be the ones to ensure that the United States is ready to defend our assets in space, to stand up for freedom of navigation in the shared domain, and ultimately to win any future conflict. The great strides made by the Space Force have been made possible thanks to the bipartisan support of Congress, the hard work of our service members that was highlighted earlier, civilians, and let's not forget it, our contracted workforce, which is truly one of our competitive advantages, and the leadership of General Raymond, both as commander of U.S. Space Command and as the first chief of space operations. Kind of a great title, just saying. Additionally, we are incredibly...
I've expressed my concerns about Lloyd Austin as Secretary of Defense, and they're numerous. But the presence of this guy versus Lloyd Austin, who will be working for Biden, like politics aside, it's cartoonish. The contrast is stunning.
His advocacy on behalf of our armed forces, and I see, most people don't see this regularly. I see it all the time. The leadership of the Vice President, his care and his compassion for our men and women in uniform and their families is remarkable. Your advocacy on behalf of our armed forces and a new generation of space professionals continues to make us stronger, safer, and more secure as we maintain American superiority in the ultimate high ground. Mr. Vice President, I'm going off script again, I know, but I just want to personally thank you.
Right. If he could cry, it would be great.
We've gone through some of the most complex military operations this country's ever conducted, and your steady hand and your leadership during those was a great source of strength for me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for commitment. Thank you for being a mentor to me, Mr. Vice President. And with that, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh my God. That was historic in some way. I don't know exactly what way, but... Oh, and Pence gets his own podium, of course.
Well, thank you all for...
Lectern, sorry.
Acting Secretary of Defense Chris Miller, to the Secretary of the Air Force Barbara Barrett, to General John Hyten, General Jay Raymond, General James Dickinson, General David Thompson, and General David Alvin. On behalf of the First Family, welcome to the White House, and welcome to the first anniversary of that branch of our armed forces that will ensure for generations that America remains as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and air. Welcome to the first anniversary of the United States Space Force.
Oh my God, if we start spreading democracy to space, I think space is screwed.
Many kind things have been said about your Vice President, but I have to tell you, I am the second biggest champion of the Space Force in this administration. So as we begin, allow me to bring greetings and first anniversary congratulations from a champion of everyone who wears the uniform of the United States and the founder of the United States Space Force. I bring greetings and congratulations from the 45th President of the United States, President Donald Trump.
And by the way, where has he been the last 3 weeks?
We just left the Oval Office with the President, and from the very first moment that he conceived of the idea of creating a new branch of our armed forces dedicated to our security in space.
This is feeling like Scientology, where even like you always have to make sure you're giving all praise to Trump, no matter what you're doing here.
Has only grown in the last year, and he's proud of each and every one of you, as I am. But we're grateful to the contributions of all of you in this room and to the speakers who have preceded me at this podium for bringing us to the fruition of this first.
Trump, who you will not be seeing ever again, is really pleased that we're doing this right now.
It saw the creation of the first new branch of our armed forces in more than 70 years. And there are members of Congress who are with us today who I remember in those critical moments in the legislative process who were absolutely indispensable. And I'd like you to join me in thanking Congressman Doug Lamburn for your great leadership on behalf of our Space Force. And the first person ever to mention to me that we ought to restart the National Space Council, even before I had this job. He is one of the greatest champions of American leadership in space in the Congress of the United States, Congressman Brian Babin. Thank you. And I want to give particular note to a member of the United States Senate who, in the late going, was there fighting to ensure that we would establish a new branch of our armed forces that would have a
It's kind of depressing because there's few things more interesting than space travel and space exploration, and this administration has made it, for lack of a better term, a complete and total farce.
For your outstanding and seminal leadership. I also want to take a moment to express my appreciation to two members of Congress who are not here, but who have been and remain champions and emblematic of the bipartisan support that this new branch of our armed forces enjoys across the Congress of the United States. Join me in thanking Congressman Adam Smith, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, and the incoming ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, Congressman Mike Rogers, two leaders who have championed the United States Space Force.
Strong champions.
And it's my greatest honor to be here with so many warriors who have stood in the gap for America, and to be able to thank you for your service, and to thank you for the foundation that you've helped pour for future generations of Americans in our security in space. There are several people to thank, but there's a man who I consider to be a giant in the realm of American leadership in space. He's a former commander of the Air Force Space Command. I first met him at Offutt Air Force Base when he was leading our strategic command forces there. He actually comes from a family that's been involved in American space enterprise throughout his life, and at just the right time, he became vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Would you join me in thanking General John Hyten and his wonderful wife, Laura?
I thought he was actually the Grand Moff of the rebel forces. I didn't realize. I thought I had his rank mixed up, I think.
I know the president knows is what I knows. We wouldn't be here without you, General. So thank you so very much for your strong leadership. But to all the members of our armed forces with us here today, thank you for your service and to our great nation. And thank you for your enthusiastic participation in this first year of the launch of the United States Space Force. You know, yesterday marked the birthday of flight. History records that it was 117 years ago that two sons of a heartland preacher, one of whom was born in Indiana, did what for all of history had seemed impossible when they took their first flight to the skies over Kitty Hawk. But in just a few short days, on Sunday, December the 20th, we will mark the formal anniversary of another American breakthrough.
1 month until he leaves.
Sunday, it will be 1 year since President Donald Trump signed into law the first new branch of our armed forces in more than 70 years. That historic moment was the culmination of an effort that began from the early days of this administration, from almost the first moment that the President and I spoke about space when we were campaigning for these jobs. He had a dual focus of renewing American leadership in human space exploration.
Imagine if instead of a propaganda event, Pence showed up and announced we figured out faster than light travel or something completely insane. I mean, none of us would even believe it. These people are so incompetent.
President Trump called forth steps to renew American leadership in space. It would be in June of 2018. The President first laid out a vision that called for the creation of a new military service focused solely on threats in and from space. The idea, though, and its conception was not a new one. For more than 50 years, presidents and military leaders had discussed a branch of our military dedicated to ensuring American national security in and from space, but time and again, those efforts faltered. But I would submit to you that it is a tribute to the leadership of our Commander-in-Chief, a tribute to the extraordinary military leadership gathered here today, that this time, with bipartisan support, in just 1.5 years, the United States Space Force was born.
Right.
And since that historic moment, the United States Space Force has only grown stronger by the day. And that means that America has grown more secure by the day. After the Space Force became law, the president's first decision was who would lead it. And the president and I get the sense in the room, there is broad agreement that he got that decision right too. He chose a man who you've heard from these podiums already is considered to be the Hap Arnold of our time. He would become the chief of space operations of the United States Space Force, and I can tell you, having witnessed his leadership firsthand, that when General J. Raymond stepped forward, it brought the leadership, the energy, the vision, the profession.
Did I miss it, or did they outline exactly what Space Force has done that has made us so safe, or did I miss that part?
Space Force. So join me in thanking General J. Raymond, his wonderful wife Molly, and his proud son Gary for all of their commitment to America. Thank you, General. Great job.
What the hell?
It's amazing.
Oh, the clips before the event were the accomplishments, I see.
General Raymond actually welcomed the first enlisted member to the Space Force, so how about a round of applause for Chief Master Sergeant Roger Tauberman. You can stand up. Come on, stand up. Thank you.
I'm really cringing here.
Thank you, Chief. In April, those two men were literally the entire United States Space Force. But in just 8 months, we already have more than 2,000 military members, space professionals.
In space.
In the United States Space Force. And I'm told that an additional 3,600 officers and enlisted airmen have already started to fill out the paperwork to transfer into the Space Force. In fact, General Raymond tells us that we anticipate on our current trajectory, the Space Force will have nearly 6,000 space professionals serving all across the globe in just a short period of time.
What do they do?
In fact, today the Space Force got its newest and perhaps most famous member.
Oh, no.
A man who is actually in space right now at the International Space Station. General Raymond took care of the paperwork.
Oh.
And I think it might actually be the first in-orbit transfer in military history. Colonel Michael Hopkins, NASA astronaut and member of the United States Space Force.
Oh, my God.
Great man. You know, heroes like him and like all of you are going to inspire generations of Americans.
Yeah.
In fact, Secretary Barbara Barrett and I witnessed some of those young Americans stepping forward in Colorado Springs, where we both had the opportunity to address the 62nd graduation of the United States Air Force Academy. When I was there, they told me in a typical year, about 20 cadets choose to go into space operations. This year, I was there when 86 cadets stood up and took the oath as officers in the United States Space Force.
Right.
And just to continue to build on the momentum, I'm proud to report to the Senator and these members of Congress and all those looking on that it was my honor with Secretary Barrett at my side and General Raymond as well that we made it official. We traveled to Florida to announce the first 2 Space Force installations in American history, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station and Patrick Space Force Base.
Yeah, but can we get $600 to people for the COVID stimulus?
And the Space Force is growing stronger every day, and just in the nick of time. I think every one of the military leaders here knows that space is a vacuum, but we're not operating in a vacuum. The space race began in the 1950s, and it continues today. And in President Donald Trump, we have a commander-in-chief who's understood clearly that space is a warfighting domain. And it's imperative that we invest the resources and the personnel and the technology to defend our nation and defend our values in the outer reaches of space. In fact, The United States, as you've heard already, faces emerging threats in space from countries like China and Russia, and those threats are only growing. We were reminded of that just this week when Russia conducted yet another anti-satellite missile launch. We're leading in space, but our determination under this president and with his extraordinary military leadership is to stay in the lead to defend America and defend our freedom from space. We seek peace through strength. And I want to say to the men and women of the United States Space Force, when it comes to the outer reaches of space, you are that strength. So today we celebrate leadership, from our president to great bipartisan support in the Congress and the military leadership that has seen to both the birth and the pouring of the first year's foundation of the United States Space Force. And I just came here today to thank each and every one of you, but also to make another announcement. As I mentioned, we just returned from the Oval Office, and so it is my honor, on behalf of the President of the United States, to announce that henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. The Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, my God. Kill me. It can't be. It can't be. This is when the United States jumped the shark, right?
Marines and Guardians will be defending our nation for generations to come.
Are you an airman, sir? No, I'm a Guardian.
So with that announcement, let me just say thank you again. I want to thank the members of Congress who are with us today. Thank you for the honor of your presence, but more importantly, thank you.
We don't deserve a country.
Thank you for your leadership in bringing us to this moment 1 year ago, and the support that you've continued to provide. I see to the launch of this new branch of our armed forces.
Oh, my God.
But on behalf of your Commander-in-Chief, let me urge each and every one of you Guardians to keep pushing.
He's pretending it's real. It's serious.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing the vision and the mission of the United States Space Force, which is to ensure that America remains as dominant in space and from space as we are on land and sea and air. And to each one of you Guardians, let me just say, each and every day from this day forward, I want to assure you that you will serve with the confidence of your Commander-in-Chief. You will serve with the confidence and gratitude of the American people. And I'm also convinced that those of you that will serve in the United States Space Force in this generation and generations to come will also go with the prayers of millions of Americans who will claim that ancient verse that promises that if you rise on the wings of the dawn, if you settle on the far side of the sea, even if you go up to the heavens.
What the hell?
That there his hand will guide you and his right hand will hold you fast.
What?
That then will be our prayer for our Guardians in this generation and for generations to come. So happy birthday to the United States Space Force. God bless our Guardians. God bless all the members of our armed forces. And God bless America. Semper Super.
This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I mean, this is humiliating. This is humiliating. Was that a prayer to space Jesus? Oh my God. Dude, where's your mask too? You know what? I have to admit, Biden could never do that. But there is no way in hell that with a straight face, Joe Biden would be able to do something so idiotic and so cringeworthy. It's like he's marginally too self-aware to ever be able to accomplish what Mike Pence just accomplished. I've never seen anything like it. I see, if people want to do some memes where with Pence announcing it in my reaction, or if you want to clip that or do anything any materials you can get me related to that moment, please submit them through the website contact form. I can't believe what we just saw. It's just outrageous. It's completely outrageous. And disturbing in a lot of ways too. I mean, it's just idiotic. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you are subscribed for free on YouTube. We're probably a few hours from 1.2 million subs on YouTube. It's insane. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. Make sure you give us a like on Facebook, and I will be back. What a sad day. I mean, just a humiliating day. I will be back at some point soon. Maybe to play us out, we'll come up with something a little bit upbeat that will make us feel a little bit better. Maybe the Rudy Giuliani fart song would help us a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys very soon.
They didn't bother to interview a single witness. Just like you, they don't want to know the truth. Well, you probably know the truth.
Okay, so there's Rudy passing gas. But the content of this was also disgusting. This went on for hours.
Witness.
There's Rudy passing gas.
They didn't bother to interview a single witness. Just like you, they don't want to know the truth. Well, you probably know the truth.
That poll book is off by over 100,000. That poll book, why don't you look at the registered voters on there? How many registered voters are on there? Do you even know the answer to that?
No, I guess I'm trying to get to the bottom.
Zero. There's zero. Guess how many? Wait. What about the turnout rate? 120